Thank you. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, audiences. And as the MC said, this session will be conducted in English. So again, hello. Hello, Mr. Low, Ms. Han. Thank you so much for coming all the way to Thailand. And this is a great opportunity for us to exchange and share some knowledge with each other from respective countries who we really have a successful council and something that we can definitely learn from. So today, Mr. Low will present a presentation called The Power of the Arts in the Singapore Journey. And Ms. Han, whose presentation is called Arts Council Korea, a 52-year journey, 52 years journey in public art support. So I will pass you to you, Ms. Han. Thank you.
Thank you for introducing me. And good afternoon. I'm HaKyung Han, a senior researcher from Arts Council Korea, and namely ARCO. And this is my great honor to be here to represent the Arts Council Korea. And today, I'd like to briefly present you about the 52-year journey in public art support in Korea. So focusing on how ARTCO has worked to build a sustainable arts and cultural ecosystem, the presentation will consist of three main parts. First, I will introduce about ARTCO's identity, history, vision, and organizational structure. And then I will explain about our budget and core programs. And lastly, I will share key challenges we face today. So in Korea, the power of culture has long been emphasized. Here you see Kim Gu. He was a Korean national independent movement activist, and he once said that what I desire for my country is nothing but noble power of culture. And this vision still resonates in Korea today. Our president recently highlighted cultural power as a new driving force that enables Korea to stand tall on the global stage. So at ARCO, we strongly believe that art changes the world and that transforms our lives. And this belief is at the heart of our founding declaration. And to embody that, we support and connect artists and art institutions at home and abroad. And if you see the right side, like these are recent achievements of Korean artists across musical, literature, visual arts, and music. And they show Korea's growing global presence. So history about Korean cultural policy, like Korea Cultural Art Foundation, the former ARCO was established in 1973. And in Korea, it was the first national art support agency. And this was 2 decades ago, 2 decades after the Korean War, when the country was still rebuilding. Like Arts Council England, after World War II, Korea saw arts and culture as a key part of recovery and national development. And if you see in 1980s, Seoul Olympics provoked expansion of cultural infrastructures. And then in the 1990s, the rise of Korean wave Hallyu and democratization broadened participation and cultural expression. And since the 2010, cultural policy has evolved to embrace inclusion, right, and diversity. And from 1973 to today, ARCO's development can be explained into 3 stages. So first, the legal and institutional foundation was built, and then in 2005, ARCO transformed into a council-based governance model, which is now. And more recently, we moved to Naju, which is southern province, as a part of National Balanced Development Strategy. And we also try to strengthen our international partnership. So ARCO's mission is to support arts and culture so that everyone can share in the joy of creation and lead a meaningful life. And our legal foundation, which is the Culture and Art Promotion Act, shows key mandates. And our vision 2030 is to connect people in arts and culture and ARCO to shape the future of arts together. And we have 4 core values for this, which is fairness, expertise, diversity, and sustainability. And we pursue 4 strategic goals, that is the promotion of artistic creation, public engagement, shared appreciation, and institutional innovation. So as I said earlier, our council-based governance is a unique feature. And the council consists of 12 experts from various arts and culture fields, and they deliberate on policies and programs, and they also run 3 subcommittees. And so that they try to ensure the diverse voices and professional insights guide our work. And lastly, the chair is elected by member of the council. Yeah, organization. Our executive office consists of 1 main office and several affiliated units with around 260 staff members. And besides, we have we run 8 arts and cultural facilities, both in Korea and overseas. About budget, our total budget for this year is 577.7 billion Korean won, which is 15.2 billion, I think, Thai baht. Yeah, and the largest share comes in terms of income. Largest share comes from the lottery fund, which is 46%, followed by the sports fund, carryover, and internal revenue. And in terms of expenditure, about 75% of budget goes to program expenditure. And yeah, as you see, among program expenditure, the largest portion, 65%, goes to supporting arts and cultural enjoyment. And other areas include artistic creation, 15% expanding 15%, and expanding social value of arts, and so on. So now, let me explain about ARCO's core programs, which falls into 3 parts. First, strengthening creative capacity. Second, expand opportunities to enjoy the arts for the public. And third, mobilizing support and shaping policy for the arts. So we place strong emphasis on fostering creativity in arts and culture. So our support system focuses on autonomy and sustainability, and so we support literature, visual arts, performing arts, and multidisciplinary practices. And through both single-year and multi-year schemes, we aim to foster key creative players. And also, we focus on key functions, such as international exchange, as I said, professional training, support for emerging artists, and audience development as well. And nextly, we aim also ensure integrity in the creative process. For that, our assessment system is artist-centered and encourage two-way communications. And we also would like to foster a fair environment through gender equality and fair pay, and have more strict grant oversight. And lastly, international exchange is also a key pillar for Arts Council Korea. We support artist residencies overseas and facilitate international collaborations, and also operate the Korean Pavilion in the Venice Biennale in Italy. And recently, we co-hosted the 10th World Summit on Arts and Culture in Seoul, which was a very big event. And the second program area focuses on enhancing public engagement in arts and culture. So for this, we provide voucher support such as Culture Nuri card and Youth Culture Art Pass. So we'd like to ensure broader access to arts for unprivileged people and young people. And it's our commitment to universal cultural welfare. And our goal also promote humanities and cultural values. And finally, the third program area promotes shared appreciation and art philanthropy. So ARCO strengthens policy foundation while encouraging private sector support for the arts. So if you see with the Art is Tree campaign, we run both on and offline art philanthropy programs. And we also host the Arts Patron Appreciation Night to honor donors and sponsors as well. Finally, key challenges we face. Like now, let me share our external and internal environment conditions. We face complex external challenges that is including aging demographics and youth out-migration to larger cities, especially Seoul. And there is also technology disruption, which is caused by generative AI. And there are also environmental crises and political and economic shifts. And these all impact Korean arts ecosystem. And internally, we must enhance institutional collaboration under the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism. So we need a sustainable model beyond public funding and redefine central and local role and seek long-term funding strategy after the abolition of our promotion fund. I will explain about this a bit later. So in response to these key challenges, we work closely with affiliated institutions under the ministry to share roles effectively and to create stronger policy links. ARCO also is working to reduce regional disparities in arts and culture. If you see, we started a new program which is called Regional Art Advancement Support Program. It links Metropolitan Cultural Foundations, ARCO, and public arts agencies under the ministry to support local creation, production, distribution in an integrated way. And the next is our arts ecosystem also faces rapid technological change. For example, AI is more than just technology for us, and it is a catalyst for rethinking what is authorship and originality, and also human agency in the arts. And therefore, we need to develop a clear standard and guidance for artists using AI in our grant program. So that's, if I have a chance later, then I will more explain about this, like how we react for this disruptive change. And I think I've already touched on the balance between central and local governance. And if we want to see more details, please refer to the slide later. The final major challenge for ARCO is funding. Like for 50 years, Culture and Art Promotion Fund has been worked as a backbone for Korean arts and cultural field. But unfortunately, in 2003, like constitutional court ruling abolished the surcharge system, and the funding volume has dropped significantly, like the right graph. So to address this, ARCO is exploring alternative ways, like from lottery funding allocation and digital taxes to possible integrated funds. And there have also been a legislative proposals to support this direction. And this is all I have prepared for today. And I think a sustainable arts ecosystem is essential for blooming our collective imagination. And ARCO will continue to learn, collaborate, and act together with artists and art communities around the world. Thank you for listening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Han. What an inspiring journey. I mean, 53 years, it's something that we should all definitely use as a case study and learn from. I think as a general concern and a popular topic is this new tool that has happened, and some know it as AI, some know it as generative tools. I liked what you said, that it's a catalyst for thinking. I think that is a very progressive way to approach AI, and not to demonize it as well. I think that's really important. By saying it's a catalyst for thinking, it really gets everybody involved in it, rather than making it seem so far away and unapproachable. So would you be able to expand a little, as you said, that you would love to expand, on actually how ARCO's policies and its approaches, how it is towards fostering a sustainable arts ecosystem amidst this landscape of rapid technological advancements?
Okay, thank you for asking very crucial questions, which is very highly interested in my organization. And yeah, as I mentioned earlier, like the recent advancement of AI is like very crucial for arts and culture field as well. Like for example, generative AI and global spread of like AI-based platform are no longer technological issue, as I mentioned, and they are now having a profound impact on the very foundation of the arts. And for example, like there are some big questions like how creativity is defined, and how artistic work is created, and also what it means to be an artist in this era. So recognizing these rapid shifts, ARCO is actively making to foster dialogue and build like shared understanding with Korean artists these days. So as a first step, like we recently filmed and distributed a YouTube roundtable inviting like Korean artists and like cultural policy researchers, as well as like the professors in law who are specialized in AI and copyright. So we like started to talk about this, the intersection of AI and art. And nextly, we plan to form a working group in AI and creativity with the professionals. And then, lastly, we'll set up the basic guidelines on AI-generated artworks in our grant application materials. So it will go through very quickly, like by the end of this year, because the technology is changing very rapidly. So yeah, at this critical moment, ARCO is committed to like stand together with Korean artists next to them, and with this, we'll both to protect creative rights. But at the same time, we will look for like co-evolutionary relations with AI and artists so that we can look for another chance and opportunities all together. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Mr. Low, please tell us more about Singapore, our very close neighboring country. We, as in Thailand, look towards Singapore, especially for your infrastructure within the museum system, within the Arts Council system as well. Yeah, could you tell us a bit more, please? Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Kim. A very good afternoon to all. First, I would like to first thank the Thailand Creative Culture Agency and the chairman of the Soft Power Committee, as well as the chairperson of the subcommittee, section, Mr. Sikum Kunawong, for the kind invitation for me to be at this forum today. I feel very proud to be here, to be able to have the opportunity to share with you all the role of the arts in Singapore's journey today. So, like many of my fellow Singaporeans, I've visited Thailand more times than I can actually remember. And when I accepted the invitation to speak at this forum, I started to reflect on myself that what is Thailand's soft power to me? And I was thinking, what is the draw in me wanting to come back to visit Thailand so often? I think for me, the seed of that Thai soft power was planted I would say, 40 over years ago. Now, what you see on this image here in the top left-hand corner is a sketch of a cornerstone carving outside one of Thailand's most famous temples in the Nakhon Tamarat area. It was 1987. I drew that as a senior high school student on a school trip to southern Thailand. Yeah, and since that trip, I continue to be fascinated with Thai arts and culture and its history. And in the many trips thereafter, when I visit Thailand, I will often carry a sketchbook and respond to whatever inspires me when I was traveling around in Thailand. So the bottom left actually is a watercolor study of your Wat Phra Si Ratana Mahatat, which I chanced upon in 2013. And the latest one is on the right-hand side. It was just done just last December while I was here on a holiday. And it was inspired by the beautiful heritage site in Kampeng Kat. So you see, we come to Thailand not just for your good food and great shopping, and as well only. Now let me come back to my topic today, which is the power of the arts in shaping Singapore's journey. 2015 is a very special year for Singapore. We celebrate 60 years of independence, and we also celebrate 60 years of diplomatic relationship with Thailand. So this is a significant milestone that reminds us of the ties that connects us and both countries. From Singapore's early years of days of independence to where we are today now, a modern and globally connected city-state, the arts has always played a very enriching and enabling role in bringing us together and moving us forward. Now, I'm born and bred as a third-generation Singaporean, and I've seen for the first hand the underlying power of the arts in enriching lives, bringing people together, and shaping our nation. When we talk about the role of the arts and the Arts Council, it is very much rooted in the Singapore's journey as a nation and in our identity. When Singapore became independent in 1965, some 20 years after the end of World War II, we faced immense challenges. We have no natural resources nor hinterland. We have a very diverse and multi-ethnic population, low level of education, just to name a few. Our future was very uncertain, and many were doubtful that this small island state would ever survive. But we did survive. The early years of our nation building were focused on building the economy and education for our people. However, even then, the arts was already playing a very critical role, although at times an understated one. Take our national anthem, Majulah Singapura, which in Malay means Onward Singapore, written by one of our most famous composers, Zubi Syed, without which we would not have an anthem to galvanize a diverse people of different ethnicities, cultures, and values to build a shared identity. Now, by the 90s, as Singapore stabilized and we have kind of developed our economy, so too did our appreciation for the arts. We began to look to the role of the arts on different levels. First, on an individual level, how the arts will enrich our lives. Second, on the community level, how it will create a more connected society for us. And third, on the national level, how the arts can contribute to the creative economy. Now, this has led to the first major report on the Advisory Council on Culture and the Arts in the 1989, which reviewed the state of the arts and culture then and recommended a whole series of recommendations, a suite of recommendations, very far-reaching, including the setting up of an arts council to champion the development of the arts in Singapore. Now, the intent is very simple, is to promote and coordinate the growth of the arts strategically at the national level. And the National Arts Council, or the NEC, which I now lead, was established in 1991. So, and you can see there's a whole lot of reports that goes on thereafter. But you may ask, what is the role of an arts council? Now, the role of an arts council is like a conductor of an orchestra. The orchestra is the arts ecosystem. A conductor orchestrates the different instrument sections to create beautiful music. Likewise, the arts council brings together all the different players in the people, public, and private sectors in synergizing each sector in playing its parts in harmony towards a shared vision. In this role, the Arts Council, we are policy maker, audience and market developer, industry enabler, and also infrastructure builder. Now, the development of Singapore arts sector was also driven by long-term strategic planning. You saw in the earlier slides, which I showed, various reviews and reports on arts and culture over the several decades. Now, the Arts Council now, we are responsible for formulating the arts roadmap every 5 years. We just launched a 5-year plan, our SG Arts plan in 2023. So like a carefully composed symphony, all these master plans are designed to move Singapore arts scene to the next stage and constantly building on the plans before it and reflecting on both the needs of our times as well as the aspirations of our people. Our SG Arts plan, a 5-year plan from 2023 to 2027, is built on 3 fundamental pillars. Number 1 is to create a connected society where the arts bind our communities together. Number 2, build a distinctive city with vibrant spaces inspired by and for the arts. And number 3, develop a creative economy that is powered by artistic talent and innovation. Today, through the efforts of all the governments, agencies, and government as a whole, when combined with the passion of our art industries and our people, we now have a very vibrant art scene. We have over 4,800 arts companies. We have more than a calendar of 13,000 art activities per year. We also have very good, strong showing at very acclaimed international platforms such as the Venice Biennale, the Gwangju Biennale, and also the Bangkok Biennale, and also the the Thailand Biennale in Phuket. This is just to name a few. And every year we have about 2 million ticket buying audiences. Our survey also showed that the people believe that 77% of the people believe that the arts have enriched their lives, whilst another 76% believe that the arts contributes positively to the economy. Now, this is a strong sentiment that the art strengthens our sense of identity and belonging. So while with all these positive changes, we also acknowledge that there are constantly a lot of challenges. And actually, as I was listening to the panel this morning on the Arts Council, we actually saw some very common challenges. But as a small country, Singapore, we are constantly having to meet the challenge of a very limited land and audience base. And also the rising cost impacts on both the artists and arts organization. So we constantly have to look at building different pathways to make art a viable and sustainable career so that there will be a continuous pipeline of talents that will want to practice and work in the arts sector. Now, our approach is based on 3 key areas. Very quickly, I'll just share with you. First is about spaces. We are thinking beyond traditional arts venues like galleries and theaters. We are bringing arts into everyday life and spaces through this initiative that you see here, such as I play Singapore music and poems on the MRT train, where actually we transform common areas like subway stations and trains into platforms and moving libraries of local music and poetry so that the public can encounter art in their everyday life. Now in Singapore, where space is very limited, we need to think out of the box constantly to make our whole city actually as a canvas for the arts. Second, beyond just the funding, we are shifting the focus away from output to impact. So it's not just about having more and more shows or exhibitions. We want to see how the arts are improving lives and strengthening the communities. To address this, the Arts Council, we commissioned a lot of programs and events like the Singapore Art Week, the Singapore International Festival of the Arts, and we also bring arts everywhere to the different townships, as you see here in the picture. So we want to bring art performances and workshops into the very neighborhoods and communities spaces where people work, live, and connect with one another. Another important point to note is that these efforts, all these efforts, we cannot do it the government alone, funding alone. So the private sector support and giving to the arts is equally important. Every year, the Arts Council, we hold an annual Patron of the Arts Award to recognize the contributions of all the companies and individuals who have supported the development of the arts, while encouraging more to do so. And in Singapore, we have a culture matching fund, whereby if someone's donate $1 to an arts company, the government will match $1 equal dollar as well. So third, on the arts career, we take a multi-pronged approach to develop. First, we want to build strong arts company. Second, we want to build skilled practitioners. And also then, third, a wide audience base to support the arts. For companies, we, as a council, continue to fund them at different stages of their growth so that they can create good jobs for the artists. For the art practitioners, we build a network of all these artists, freelancers, and provide access to resourcing, to programs for upskilling. We provide them with career guidance, and also actually free co-working space for them. Last but not least, we need the audience. Because without the audience, honestly, there's no art. So we are putting in a lot of effort to really grow the audience. And one of the big initiatives that we have just announced and will launch by 1st September is that we are giving every Singaporean who is 18 years old and above 100 Singapore dollars to buy tickets to arts events, workshops, and so that they can appreciate and enjoy the arts. So we want the story of our art to be shared beyond Singapore. Singaporean artists are increasingly being recognized on the world stage. So for example, we are very proud that 3 of our artists of different generations, as you can see here, were presented at the Bangkok Biennale last year. Conversely, the arts is also a powerful bridge between countries and where people to people and organization to organizations relationship can flourish. Singapore, we regularly participate in ASEAN cultural programs, including ones that's organized by Thailand, such as the International Ramayana Festival and the ASEAN Art for All. And Thai artists regularly are featured in our Singapore festivals, such as at the Singapore Biennale, at the Art Fair, Art SG, and also here you see at the Art Fair called C Focus, which stands for Southeast Asia Focus. Last year, the Thai Embassy in Singapore also commissioned a collaborative work between Thai contemporary artist Lole and Singapore visual artist Toby Tan to celebrate our 60-year of diplomatic relationship between the two countries. We are very proud when we see our artists come together with their international counterparts to collaborate and create meaningful works that resonate with the audience. Through such exchanges, and the arts become a bridge between cultures and a way for us to understand the world better. Singapore's journey has always been one of adaptation, ambition, and resilience. The arts have been with us every step of the way, helping us overcome, grow, and shine on the global stage. It reflects who we are, it shapes our future, and it definitely tells our story. So as we continue to forge ahead, we look to working with artists, community partners, institutions from all over the world, so that we can continue to see how we can build a better society and a better world through the arts for our people. Anyway, if you are keen to find out more about our plan, here's the digital copy. You can scan the QR code. We're most happy to hear from you and have a conversations to exchange ideas on how we can kind of better navigate what is now a very complex world and how we can all better support the arts and the artists. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Low. What an inspiring presentation. What really piqued my interest as a director of an art center, we work a lot directly with artists. And a lot of our focus is actually about trying to create an infrastructure or a system to support their livelihood, actually. And I noticed you had highlighted a shift in funding focus towards supporting the impacts of art on people's lives and livelihood, including audiences, art practitioners. Would you be able to elaborate a little bit more on that, on how the National Arts Council is evolving its initiatives to better support the careers and professional development, maybe perhaps especially professional developments of art practitioners for Singapore in the context of it being like a high-cost urban environment?
Yeah, thanks for that question. I think it's a very important question. I think in terms of the challenges that you mentioned, it's actually something that I think in every country we all face. And I think this morning, again, when I was at the panel, I think it was Mr. Kunawong who actually expressed that actually the one way of it is actually to look at it from an ecosystem point of view. So that's exactly what we do at the Arts Council as well. So we just can't simply fund kind of just project by project or one artist by one artist. I mean, we need to continue to do that to some extent, but we need to see how we can build an entire ecosystem. And in the entire ecosystem, there are many players, and across the value chain, there are many aspects that we need to look at in terms of each part of the value chain must be healthy and functioning so that the artists can have a viable career. And to do that, firstly, we have to go beyond funding, just from the council. We have to bring in all the private sector to see how they can better support. So whether it's a foundation or is it the corporates, to see how can they all be part of this arts collective to really move towards building this ecosystem and help the artists. But specifically for the artists, we have to really work out what is the skills that they need moving forward. So we spend a lot of effort in trying to determine the kind of skills where the arts will be valuable in time to come. So really, what are the sunrise industry within the arts? So for example, we are training a lot of our artists in terms of using art to enhance well-being, how arts can promote well-being. And a lot of the artists, if they acquire these skills, they'll be able to kind of actually find good work and actually achieve a good livelihood from the work that they do. So this is just one of the aspects. But certainly, if we are able to build a better ecosystem where there are strong arts company, and when there are strong arts company, then they can pay better artists when they in the gigs, or the galleries can be able to find more patrons to support the painters, and the sculptors and so on and so forth. So that is the kind of the overall approach that we are going forward. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I think the one thing that you both actually talked a lot about is this idea that every sector needs to come together and collaborate and share resources, share knowledge, and work together towards the same goal, which is to have art being a part of their everyday life so that it can benefit the individual, the community, and the nation as well. So actually we have some time. Should we do another question? Yeah. Excuse me.
So you're not going to let us off?
Not yet. We have 3 minutes. So I'm going to use as much time as possible. So I would like to go into our second question that we've prepared. Ms. Han, so ARCO has really progressively recognized artists not just as cultural entrepreneurs or creative talent, but as a worker deserving of institutional protections.
Yeah.
You mentioned about enforcing a lot of standardized contracts, for example, or copyright protection. What have been the key policies, mechanisms, or advocacy pathways in your context that have enabled this shift in status and possibly most importantly, recognition?
Thank you for a good question again. Yeah, I think that's very crucial, and the importance of that kind of question is increasing, but we should focus on that question continuously. And in fact, I'd like to briefly explain about the background first, and then explain what's our policy background. So in fact, in Korea, the significant turning point was the death of the screenwriter in 2010. Because of her poor economic condition, she was found dead. And yeah, that caused a lot of discussion, and yeah, so from that time we were thinking about the importance of the right of artists. And so from then a range of policies developed, including Artist Welfare Act, Artist Right Protection Act, and Support for Artists Union, and so on. So, however, there are still limits to recognize artists as workers in Korean Labor Act. So, in order to improve this, in this context, Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism and ARCO together play an important role in promoting fair labor practices in arts and culture field. For example, we try to introduce standard fees by art genre. So in case of literature, based on research for ARCO's supporting magazine, literature magazines, we search for their payments, and we set a standard rate for author's fee. So we renew it annually, so that everybody can follow their standard who gain a grant from ARCO. And in case of performing arts, it's very similar to literature. We examined grant award theater companies past their past expenditure for paying theater staffs, and then we set a rate for theater professionals so that they can give some fair pay for their staffs who gain our grant. Not for everybody. But in short, however, ARCO cannot enforce art fee standard to whole art sector, but still we aim to protect artists' rights as workers by providing this good model and cases so that they can benchmark us. So then this good mood can spread to whole arts and culture sector in Korea.
Thank you. Actually, Mr. Would you have a comment for something like that in a Singapore context in terms of protecting artists' work rights, copyrights, and things like that?
Yes, certainly it's actually a very important aspect. So particularly for a lot of artists who are working as freelancers, or in the Singapore context, we call them the self-employed persons. And we have to find ways to firstly ensure that they up the knowledge and skills of actually can they better protect themselves. So what we did was, after the pandemic, we actually, the Arts Council, we set up both a physical and an online, what we call an Arts Resource Hub. And we actually, is a kind of build a network of all the freelancers working in Singapore. And from time to time, we mount a lot of workshops and which is actually industry-led, whereby the more experienced arts workers come and share with the so-called the younger ones on what it means to build a career and what is it that they need to do in terms of certain protection, signing better contracts, buying insurance, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of that work that we need to do there. But at the same time, we also have to work to make sure that the rest of the industry are on board, so that they know that it's actually only ethically and morally right for them to, when they engage artists, to have a proper contract and respect the IPs of the artists and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Thank you very much. It's definitely incredibly important to also train artists to think like businessmen also and protect themselves, protect their work. And as all 5 screens has warned us that the time is up, I'd like to thank you very much, Mr. Low and Ms. Han, for your time and for sharing us the histories of your councils. And thank you to the audience. Thank you ค่ะ ขอบคุณค่ะ
ขอบคุณค่ะ Thank you very much